Dave, back to winning ways away at Barnoldswick Town this afternoon. Just give us your overall thoughts on that one.
Overall, really professional performance. I think we started the game unbelievably well. First 10 minutes, I think the first 7 or 8 of it was spent camped out in their half, sort of constantly probe and look for those chances, balls into the box, little half chances, nothing of any note. And then the tempo dropped a little bit and we let them back into it. To be fair, they played some good stuff. For spells, probably a 10-15 minute spell on the start of the first half. I thought Barnoldswick played some good stuff. They got some good players. But second half, we knew that they'd probably tire, and I think second half we came out and started again with the same tempo, and we got that all-important first goal, and then it just sort of built from there. Massively disappointed with the last 30 seconds of the game and conceding. I think we've done that a few times in games this season, and we've given away daft goals when we've been 3-4-0 up or whatever, and in those games I think there's been where we've conceded chances and then conceded a daft goal at the end. Today they have another chance. Mitch has made one save. So really disappointed because we didn't deserve to concede the goal. But we've got it's all relative. So obviously we've got a completely changed back four, new partnership in the middle of it. Aaron hasn't played for 3 to 4 weeks now with his injury. Louis been away as well, and he's not played for 4 or 5 weeks. So Nicky's had to go in at right. So there's been loads of challenges. So a little bit of dispensation there, but I'm just a bit gutted for the lads because they didn't deserve to concede that goal. And what shows how important it is that we stay switched on all the way through the game.
You talk about the selection there and the sort of players that sort of hadn't really used to have been playing together in the back four. Just sort of talk me through the overall selection this afternoon.
Yeah, so I think some of the notable absences around Bebeto and Conor Pye particularly. I think Bebeto's trained all week, done really well, and he's had an emergency family issue at home, so he's had to go back to Portugal sort of yesterday. And Connor's got that bug that's going around, so he's got a chest infection. He was at the doctor's and he's got some antibiotics and steroids, so unfortunate for them to miss out, but that's why we've got the squad that we've got.
And I guess in terms of incomings this week, obviously you mentioned Louis in the answer to the first question, and Tyler as well. Obviously both made their debuts for the club this afternoon. What did you make of their performances?
I thought they were brilliant. I think Tyler gives us something a little bit different. He offers a lot of third man runs. He can drive with and without the ball. Probably something we haven't got an awful lot of. I think Alex is the only other player who does that a lot. So I thought they were both really good. I think today there's a couple of notable sort of performances from individuals for different reasons. I think Ruben's come back in. He's had a tough time recently since his injury. For him to come on, I thought he was brilliant against West Didsbury when he come on. He come on today, scored his goal, made up for him. Obviously Tyler and Louis making the debuts, fantastic, and what a story it is to see Brad back. He was a bit disappointed, Brad, that he never really got hold of the ball properly, but I think the fact that he's back now when it was probably a sort of season-ending injury is testament to his character and his attitude, because not once has he missed a session, not once has he missed a rehab session, not once has he not come to gig and been part of things. So massive kudos to Brad, and he got his just deserved at the end of the game.
And looking at obviously the squad today and the bench that you had available to you, is that not just testament to the squad that you've been able to build over the course of the season, that you've got those options, the likes of Courtney on the bench, Ruben, Brad as well now coming back from fitness? You can have some selection headaches going in towards the final stage of the season.
I hope so. I think, look, there's been too many incomings and outcomes. I'm not going to get away from that. I think we've made some mistakes with recruitment. We've had players. People don't see everything that goes on. They obviously just see a player coming in and out and presume it's my choice all the time. It's not that simple. We've lost some really good players who we were desperate to keep, and for one reason or another, not necessarily because they're not playing. Sometimes they were playing, sometimes they weren't. Lots of different reasons, personal issues, not being able to get their drive and work changes. Sometimes players have to do what's best for them and move on. But the key now is, I think there's a couple of areas that we need to look at, but the key now is that we go in sort of from next week, maybe the week after, and that's the squad for the season. We need to stay settled. It needs to be consistent. Lads need to know that if they're on the bench, they might have to wait 5-6 weeks to get back in. There has been too many changes, which we'll hold our hands up as staff, and I'm sure some of the players will as well. But we're in a really good place. The squad's strong, and we've got 14 games to go at. We'll take it one game at a time, see where we end up.
Lower Breck next Saturday's opposition back at Gig Lane. Obviously it was a tough defeat in the reverse fixture in November last year. How are you going to look to put that into 3 points at Gig next weekend?
I don't think they come much more difficult. I think Lower Breck are probably, them, West Didsbury and Paddy were probably the most informed teams in the league by a country mile. I think certainly the West Didsbury game a couple of weeks back and the Lower Breck ones were really, really tough games. I think they've proved themselves to be title contenders. I think with the form recently and certainly from what I've seen, I think they are in and amongst the best teams in the league. So it's going to be tough, but we're at Gig. Good win today. We look more solid today. And I think with the players that we've got in attacking positions, I think we can hurt anyone. So we'll go into it full of confidence. We've got a full week of training, which is massive for us. And let's see who wins.
Perfect. Thanks for your time, Dave.